afternoon, everybody. Are we having fun at the Fairy Tale Festival?
Yes.
Yes? Are we having fun? Excellent. Well, my name is Amber Shrodes, and I'm going to read to you one of my favorite books, A Pig Parade is a Terrible Idea. Has anyone been to a parade before?
Yes.
Parade? Yeah. Has anyone been to a pig parade?
No.
No? Well, that's good, because we're going to find out. That is a terrible idea. Like most children, you have probably thought to yourself at one time or another, I bet a pig parade would be a lot of fun. And yes, a pig parade certainly sounds like a lot of fun. It's even fun to say. Go ahead, say pig parade a couple of times. Pig parade. Pig parade. Fun, right? Yeah. After all, what could be more fun than gathering a few hundred pigs together for a grand parade and then watching them proudly march together in perfect formation down the finest boulevard of your hometown? The only problem is a pig parade is a terrible idea. For one thing, pigs hate to march. They prefer to snuffle, which is kind of like walking with your nose. Snuffing is fine when you're trying to find leftover apple skins and acorns around the barnyard, but snuffling is simply an inappropriate way to conduct yourself along a parade route. That's just one reason why a pig parade is a terrible idea. Look, he snuffled and he got a lollipop stuck to him. Ew. Also, pigs absolutely refuse to wear majorette uniforms. Even if you are able to find enough majorette uniforms for all of your pigs, which is a very difficult job in and of itself, just try getting those hundreds of pigs to put them on. Do you ever dress your pigs at home? No. They just will not do it. Perhaps they consider majorette uniforms unflattering. Nonsense. Everyone looks sharp in a majorette uniform, even pigs, especially pigs. But when you try explaining that to them, they just look at you as if you're speaking a language they don't understand. Again, a pig parade is a terrible idea. You can't have a parade without floats, right? Ooh. Well, forget it. Pigs don't care about floats. Pigs don't care about the time and energy you spent creating a Three Little Pigs float or a Wilbur from Charlotte's Web float. In fact, the only floats that pigs care about are root beer floats, which they love. Then there's a matter of music. Pigs have horrible taste in music. If you give a group of pigs marching band instruments to play, do you think they'll play good, spirited marching band music?
No.
Will they? No. No, they will not. You're right. They will play sad country music ballads with titles like My Tears Are Wet Because My Mud's Gone Dry, and I Just Want to Plop Into This Bucket of Slop. That kind of music is fine for slow dancing at hoedowns, but it is not appropriate for a parade. Let's face it, a pig parade is a terrible idea. Finally, there are the giant balloons to consider. Everyone knows that giant balloons are the best part of every parade, right? Best part of every parade. Well, who do you think is going to hold all those balloons to keep them from flying away? The pigs, right? Wrong. Even if pigs wanted to hold the balloons, instead of the filthy puddles on the street to lie in, they couldn't do it. Because while pig hooves are good for digging up wild mushrooms, when it comes to holding giant parade balloons, they are simply not up to the job. And what happens when balloons go unattended? They bump into buildings or drift straight out into outer space, which would be fine for Martians, but awful for those of us trying to enjoy a big parade down here on Earth. So when you consider the constant snuffling, the refusal to wear majorette uniforms, the disinterest in pig-themed literary floats, pigs' preference for weepy country ballads, and their utter lack of discipline regarding proper balloon handling, it should be absolutely, completely, and totally clear that a pig parade is a terrible idea. A panda bear parade, however, would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Glad you moved in. Come all around. I want you to hear me. I want to get real close so you can hear me. Come on close. Hi there. What's your name? Hi, good to meet you. Thanks for coming. We've got a lot here. Wow. Oh, I like your tiara. It's pretty. And your bows. And your tiara. The blue one especially. That's so nice. Very good. Who else is joining us? We got, oh, and you are Princess who?
Queen Elsa.
Oh, Queen. I'm sorry, Queen. Don't mean to offend the Queen.
I'm a princess.
You're Princess who?
Anna.
Anna. Oh, all right.
That's my older sister.
Okay. Hopefully you two get along.
Usually.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Hopefully you're not in a rush to become the Queen.
No, thank you.
Okay, good. Good. That would get complicated if you weren't patient. Okay, I think we have everybody. I have such a special book to read to you today. Let's see who's interested. So this was written by a kid just like you, your age, but maybe a little bit older, had some help spelling, right? And it was written about this kid's uncle, actually great-great-uncle. Anybody have a great-great-uncle? That's like a really old uncle. That's like a really, it's like a lot older than probably your uncles. But wrote a book about his life of adventure, and he liked to fly. Anybody here like to fly?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, good. Anybody ever flown in an airplane? Oh, really? Already? To Florida too? Would anybody like to fly like a bird? Like, that would be fun if you could do that, right? Yeah, arms get tired, yeah. Let's see how far you can get. You might not be able to see the pictures if you're all the way over there. You want to come over here where you see better? So I might need your help if... Okay. All right. Okay, so we ready for this very interesting story? Okay. The name of the book is called, I don't know if anybody here can read this. This is some big words here. What's the first word? Anybody know? Wind. Very good. Oh, good job. Flyers. Wind flyers. What's a wind flyer? That's kind of a funny name for something. What flies on the wind? Airplane. That's right. And the pilots that fly on the wind in the airplane are wind flyers. That's just kind of a funny name. That's all it is. Don't take it too seriously. Don't overthink it, all right? All right. So, here we go. Great-great-uncle was a wind flyer, a smooth wind flyer, a Tuskegee wind flyer. Tuskegee. You ever heard of that? That's where he's from. That's what his group was named, Tuskegee. His whole life, all he ever wanted to do was fly. With his arms flapping, he jumped off a chicken coop when he was 5. Okay, anybody here 5? Yeah, be careful if you feel like jumping off a chicken coop, okay? You'd have to flap really hard. Oh, 4? Okay, you got a little time to work on it, all right? That's him. He wanted to fly so much. When he was 5 years old, he flapped his wings like a bird and jumped off this little building to see if he could fly.
I can do that because I'm 4.
4? Okay.
I think I can do it because I'm 5.
5, okay. You might have stronger wings.
Maybe I can try that because I'm
Okay, don't do it unless your parents are helping you. Okay, you get it? Promise? Promise? Okay, there we go.
I said I don't want.
Then he jumped off a barn, a bigger building, into a soft hay when he was 7. Yes. Uncle says it's because he'd watch some birds fly that day, and he wanted to fly too. A little bit dangerous. So when he was 11, in case now Uncle's growing up, he paid 75 cents to go up in the flying barnstormer.
Wow, that's a lot of sense.
Yeah, he paid a lot of cents. 75.
Oh my God.
75, right? That plane is called a barnstormer. All right, he paid 75 cents. When he was how old? How old? 11. He saved his money for that. So save up. Anybody saved any cents yet? Couple? Got some dimes maybe? Nickels? No?
I did.
Someday.
I did them to goodbye earlier.
Good, thanks. All right. It's what heaven must be, Uncle says to me, with clouds like some soft blanket saying, come on in, get warm. Stay a while. And be a wind flyer too. He flew over the fields and over the lakes, and Uncle just knew if he could get a good grip of those clouds, they would be his. He really wanted to fly in the clouds. So he cried when they landed, because then he knew what it was like to go up into the wind, against the wind, and beyond the wind. So he was sad when the flying was over, because he really wanted to stay up and fly. I won't ask who's cried before. I got the answer to that already, all right? All right. There was magic in the wind back then, Uncle said. So when he was older, Uncle became a Tuskegee Airman with the 332nd. That's the name of his Air Force team, okay? He studied hard and flew in a war. Air Force didn't want us at first. Only 4 squadrons like us, he says, touching his mahogany face. And when his plane left the red Alabama dirt and flew in the air, he hoped that they would never come down. He had finally become a wind flyer, a smooth wind flyer, a Tuskegee wind flyer, flying high above it all, never to touch the earth again. Forever a wind flyer. When I would ask him, was it a big war? Uncle says, they all are. But that's over now. We were something. And some of us didn't come back, but we never lost a plane we protected. Then Uncle points at the picture of him and the other wind flyers, those smooth wind flyers, those Tuskegee wind flyers, young and brave and young, all. Uncle crop dusted some. It means he flew over farms with his plane right after the war. And that's the only way he could fly. The only way he could still catch the clouds and feel the wind. He says flying's different now, though. Just like your trip to Florida. Who went to Florida? You did? Okay. Faster planes, more people than ever. But Uncle says the clouds, they still sound the same. Uncle holds my hand, and when we watch new wind flyers jet through the clouds, then once in a while, he takes me up, and we become smooth wind flyers, Tuskegee wind flyers, flying into the wind, against the wind, beyond the wind, that magical wind. And that is the end. Thank you. Who wants to be a wind flyer? You do? All right, you have to practice your flapping first. That's great. All right. You've been so good. So good. Every one of you. Like you listened and you behaved. Nobody picked their nose. Everyone was like completely, very, very well behaved. All like really, really good, well-disciplined troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Have a good day. Sure. Bye-bye.
Are you guys all ready for a story now? Yes. Okay. This one is called Falling for Rapunzel. And it says, once upon a bad hair day, a prince rode up Rapunzel's way. And here's the pictures where the prince is on a horse riding up. Can you see him riding on his horse up to the tower? You think of? Yeah. Okay, and then it says, from up above he heard her whine, upset her hair had just lost its shine. He thought her crying was a plea, and sallying forth to set her free. So she wasn't happy about her hair day there, so she was crying up at the top of the castle. This is a very modern Rapunzel because she has a computer there. Alas, she was too far away to quite make out what he would say. So and he's down below saying, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, throw down your hair. She's trying to hear. She's got her hand by her ear. And the prince is down below on his horse calling out her name. She thought he said, your underwear. So Rapunzel, your curly locks. He said, no, not your underwear. Your curly locks. Where did the underwear land? On the horse's head. Now, we haven't talked to the horse about this, but Rapunzel threw down dirty socks. Please, love, just your silky tresses. She thought he asked for silky dresses. In lace and frills up to his head, the prince's cheeks were blushing red. Rapunzel, do you have a rope? And we can see the socks falling down. Can you see the socks? And you see the dresses? I'm thinking that we have to take Rapunzel to the ear doctor. Rapunzel dropped a cantaloupe. It burst in pieces on his head. Oh, bad catch, Rapunzel said. Perhaps, he sighed, this is a test. And bound by love, he did not rest. And I'm guessing that they have a supply of cantaloupes in a castle somewhere. You like that one? Yeah? Okay, Rapunzel. How about twine? And she's got long blonde hair. Can you see her long hair? Okay. She heaved out her blue ribbon swine. I guess that rhymes with twine. By now the prince was feeling hammered, not to mention less enamored. He growled up, "Do you have a ladder?" Now, what's another name for a pig? Is it swine? She thought he said twine, not swine. This horse looks like he's really confused about this all. Does that horse look confused? A little bit? Rapunzel tossed out a pancake batter. It covered him from head to toe. She yelled, "It's better cooked, you know." At this, the poor prince had to cry, then cupped his hands for one last try. "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your braid." She's still up in the top of the castle, in the tower. And the prince isn't doing real well at this. Confused, Rapunzel pushed out her maid. That's not a nice thing to do, is it? Are we hoping she can fly? Maybe. The maid fell squarely on the prince, quite pleased with this coincidence. She nimbly jumped up off his lap and soon revived the flattered chap. There's little hearts on this page. Then smiling said, "For what it's worth, you'll find I'm really down to earth." His young heart thrilled. He gave a hoot. For what was more, this maid was cute. Is your mom cute? Yeah. You took a little time with that. Okay. She set the prince upon his steed, then leapt behind with graceful speed, and leaning close so he could hear, she whispered something in his ear. "I fell for you when we first met," he nodded. "How could I forget?" So what's another name for a steed? Is a horse another name for a steed? Yeah, it's like a grown-up name for a horse. And a steed is like maybe a fast horse. I think that Rapunzel's going to regret throwing her maid out the window. Rapunzel watched them ride from sight. "I'm glad I finally heard him right." Rapunzel's looking out still. Can you see her looking out? Does she have real long blonde hair? Do you have blonde hair?
Yeah, I think
It isn't that long, no. Okay. When I was your age, I had blonde hair too. I know that's hard to believe right now. I hope if they come back for more, they'll think to knock on my back door. Oh my goodness. Rapunzel's down out of the castle, out of her back door with a pig. I think she would have been better off with a prince. And here we are at the very end of the story. For my own Prince Charming, who didn't give up on the first try, with special thanks to Janice Graham and Rick Walton, to Susan, Cecilia, Hillary, Fraser, and all the support. So that's the story of Rapunzel.